YouTube, what's happening? Logan here, tapping in live from another morning at the beach. It's a beautiful day. The sun is still coming up. It's about 6 a.m. out here in Los Angeles, California. And yeah, I just woke up in a good mood, ready to get some things done. Already got a load of laundry in and you know, knocking things off my list. So what are we doing today? We're gonna be walking along the water here and just getting those morning vibes up and going, thinking positively about where we are and where we're going, and then figuring out what we need to do today to advance ourselves a little bit further towards our goals and aspirations. So the most important thing I think that I want to focus on today is patience and self-love. So these two things are super important to me because it's easy to get impatient, especially when you're working on a big goal. You know, I think the best way to think about it is, you know, if you're running a marathon, when do you want to be done with the race the most? Right towards the end. So you have to be patient all the way through the race to make sure that you make it to the finish line. You know, the patience at the beginning is, you know, almost given to you, but the patience at the end is the true test of the entire race. So that's what's on my mind for patience. And as you can see, this guy hasn't moved spot. He's still got his board, doing the thing, you know, doing the thing. And then as far as self-love goes, I think self-love is on my mind primarily because I'm watching this beautiful sunrise, and one of the most important ways that I've learned to love myself is through going to bed early and waking up early. I know that sounds super simple and very basic, but it's true. You know, the best days of my life are the days that I get to watch the sunrise. And I'm not talking about the sun rising, you know, like when you see the sun in the sky. I'm talking about when you see barely anything. Like when the sun's barely peeking over the horizon and you see these incredible color changes in it's like watching a sunset, but in the morning. And it's cool because a sunset is almost like an ending, right? But a sunrise is like an opening to a new world, a new day. And not enough people get to see the sunrise. So if you're lucky enough to go to sleep early and to wake up early to catch that morning energy, it's before the sun even peeks its head above the horizon. It's those colors that you see in the sky that the camera can't even really capture. It's the same problem that cameras have with sunsets. Like you notice, like you can get a good picture of a sunset, but you know if it's a good picture of a sunset, the sunset was 100 times better in person. So like you can't even really capture it. I wish I could show you guys, but the hues of colors that you get here, it's always different. It's always very unique, and you never quite know what you're gonna get. Every day's different. And even with the, you know, I've probably seen a lot more sunsets than I have seen sunrises, but just from the few sunrises that I've seen, I mean, I've probably seen, you know, a few hundred, if not a few thousand sunrises and tens of thousands of sunsets, right? Maybe even less than, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking out of my ass here. But I've probably seen a few thousand sunsets and then a few hundred sunrises. And out of those few hundred sunrises, I gotta say, I mean, they blow sunsets out of the water because nothing's coming to an end. Everything's opening up. Everything's, it's blooming. You know, the world blooms in the morning, and if you're awake, and you're able to capture that, you bloom with the day. I believe our bodies have this unique system to them that, you know, you can say, oh, like, you know, you can stay up as late as you want, right? But the sleep that you get if you go to bed before 10 o'clock is incomparable to this. Like, even if you slept 8 hours starting at midnight, 8 hours starting at 9 o'clock, right? The sleep that you get from 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. through 5 a.m. is far superior to the sleep that you'd get from 12 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I don't know why that is, but just try it out, give it a shot. If you're ever in a spot where you're like, nothing's, you know, like I'm working so hard to push myself into that next level, try going to bed earlier. It'll change your whole world. But that's basically what's on my mind as far as self-love goes, because self-love is really about the small things. And when you prioritize yourself in those ways where you put the phone down, you know, if you're sitting there scrolling at 9:30, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, there's nothing new. Like, you're not gonna, like, you know, like you're chasing that endless dragon, like. And you know, phone addiction is wild. It's probably one of the most addictive substances I've ever encountered, and it's commonly acceptable. So that's where it makes it even more difficult. Whenever and I call it a substance because it's what it is. It's a in terms of philosophy, it's a substance. You know, it has substance. It's not like a drug, but it kind of is, because it affects your brain chemicals. So anyways, as far as, you know, if you're able to put down the technology within an hour of going to bed, man, your whole world just shifts. And wow, that ocean's really going today. Ocean be popping off today. Bigger waves. Maybe he could use that surfboard. Yeah, so as far as self-love goes, definitely want to get to bed earlier. Want to keep waking up earlier, catch more sunrises. Another thing for self-love, which was just on my mind and it might have fleeted away. I guess it does have to do with you know, social media and phone addiction. Is, you know, I want to really cut down on my endless scrolling. I feel like TikTok is extremely addictive in the sense that, like, it's you're always digging in this endless Pandora's box, right? And I've been able to cut out a lot of the things in my life where I have that same feeling where I'm just digging endlessly, expecting to find something different and always finding the same thing. So I want to apply some of those lessons towards TikTok. I understand TikTok's an incredibly powerful tool for transforming your social presence, and I definitely want to take advantage of that. But sitting there scrolling and watching mindless shit on there isn't helping me advance myself further. It's actually just keeping me right where I am. And another thing is, I feel like the platform's definitely changed quite a bit since there was the controversy, and I don't think the algorithm's the same as it was 6 months ago. Call me crazy, but I think something's changed there, and over time it'll continue to degrade further and further, and it's basically just Instagram Reels at this point. And I never really liked Instagram Reels. I thought it was kind of boring. That's probably why it's driving me back to YouTube with these videos, because I think there's more juice to squeeze out of something like this than there is out of the you know, the drama-filled look at me energy that is kind of like all over, you know, Instagram and TikTok. But it's more, you know, I feel like there's more that we can offer each other on not only long form content like this, but then also you know, on those platforms as well. So maybe reevaluate, you know, what I'm doing and how I'm approaching it, because I've been on there for just over a year now on TikTok. I only got like 5,000 likes, which is not very good in terms of, you know, reach. It's more reach than I had prior to starting, for sure. But it's nowhere near what I need to be successful as an artist. So I need to expand my reach on TikTok, which will hopefully drive more people to my channels. And you know, who knows? The opportunity is endless, right? So that's what's important, is recognizing the opportunity, staying positive about the opportunity, and not locking yourself in any you know, limiting beliefs that keep you where you are. So these are just some of the things that are on my mind this morning as I'm watching this incredible sunrise from the beach. And as you can see, it's gorgeous. Oh, look at this. We got the tractors pulling up. They like to move this pile around here. Pretty cool. They got to keep the sand piled up, so I don't know why. I guess the currents and the tide messes with the sand, and if they don't stack it right there, then this whole area floods. And there was a huge flood way back in the day. I don't know the year, but it was a while ago, and it basically, where if you see right here, there used to be a ton of homes, and I mean, this whole beach used to be homes all the way down, and the flood knocked out everything. There's still a ton of homes down there, but yeah, basically the storm surge took out all this. So there's still one house right there, and then there's if we curve around the bend, there's one house, so 3 houses left over here, and then 2 if we look that way, farther down towards my place. But yeah, they had some issues back in the day. I don't think they've had any incidents since, but yeah, interesting, right? The more you know. If you want to look more into that, just type in Long Beach flood beach history or some shit, you know. But yeah, I hope you guys have an incredible day. I'm gonna keep it short today because my vlog yesterday was, I think, 35 minutes long, and I just think that's too long. I'm trying to keep my videos between 10 to 20 minutes. I think that's where the juice is. Maybe 15 is the sweet spot. But you know, I understand that you guys have a busy day, and you know, you got things that you need to do. I just want to be a piece of your life, in the sense that you can tap in, maybe pull something good for your own journey and get back to it. So I love you guys. I hope you're having an amazing day. Bless up, subscribe, comment, let me know what you're doing this week. I'd love to hear about it. I'll definitely get back to you. All right, follow me on socials, do all the things. All right, see you guys, bye.